Hey Blue Rockers, Connie Willis here. How you doing? Let me see if I can get in a better lighting. That is some bright light, isn't it? Not sure if I can fix that. Hold on. I'm live in the studios of Coast to Coast AM out of LA. I'm actually in the guest seat. Let me see if I can turn that light down a little. Oh, I can. There we go. It's a little better. There we go. It's a little better, I guess. Let's see. Let's do that. Do that. How's that? How's that? A little better? Crazy, huh? How you doing, you guys? Go ahead and ask me any questions if you want. That's kind of what I'm doing here, is just sitting here. I'm in the guest seat, one of the guest seats right here for Coast to Coast. And this is in the LA studios. You know, there's several studios around the country, but this is the one in LA. This is the guest seat. There's another seat here for guests if they wanted to talk. And as I showed you earlier, George will be sitting right there, and sometimes he could be sitting right over here. It's the main board where the board op would do all the things that's needed to be done. And right this way would be Tommy Danheiser. So pretty cool setup, very nice, very it's really cool. It's great to be in studios that are you know, quality, and I've been in many of them. Hey there, Alan. Good to see you at the studio. Me too. I know. It's the first time ever. Now, George Noory is on tonight. He's got, I know one of his guests is Gerald Celente. I know there's a second one too, but he had just mentioned Gerald, and I remember seeing it because I got to interview him before, and he's fantastic. What a great person. So the two of them, you're going to hear both of their accents coming out. George Celente's and George Noory's, both of George's on. You're going to hear both of their accents come out more probably, because that part of the country it just comes out, and it's I like it. I like hearing them talking for sure. When I lived up in that area part of the world, they're people that tell it like it is. They're straight up. They're not thinking about everything. They're just going at it, you know, and nothing said to hurt each other, just straight talk, you know, and there's nothing to, no BS either. It's just the real thing. So that'll be happening tonight. So I'm excited. Here I am in LA, but I'm heading back home. I'll be taking the red eye tonight, and so I'll be back in Louisville, Kentucky tomorrow. It's a long flight, and it's been a long week. I've been in Vegas and the casinos, as you guys know, and I appreciate those of you that were hanging in there with me. I didn't get to make it to Sedona. I didn't get to make it to Lake Mead. You know, we were hoping for some Val Thor and things like that, but none of that happened. Gave it a shot. You know, sometimes things work out, sometimes don't, but in a good position, because here I am today in the Coast to Coast studios, saying hi to folks around here, meeting people that make this run. And George Noory, I mean, the guy he's working all the time, and he's been here all day. His show starts at 10 p.m. Eastern Pacific, or at 10 p.m. Pacific, and he's been here for hours already. Okay, so there you go, hard worker for sure. Wish I had a friend like you as I'm sitting here sobbing. Don't sob. Oh, that's in a good way, right? That's cool. Well, you do have a friend in me. You're a blue rocker as well, and I appreciate that. So, stop. So anyway, it's been an adventure this week for sure, but here we are, and I'm very happy where I've ended up. The vice president of Premier Syndicate, which is, you know, where Coast to Coast has been born, is from Louisville, Kentucky, and thank goodness, because he's heard me before years back. So when my tape was given here, he knew who I was, and the president, I believe, also knew who I was, and that didn't hurt anything, right? And it was great. It's very great, you know, because years ago you do work with people and you never know what it's going to turn out to be. So you guys be careful about burning bridges with people along the way. You will probably work with them again. It is a small world. And as I think it was Gallagher that said, it's a small world, but I wouldn't want to paint it. It is what it is. So I'm going to see if I got a connection. I know you guys are asking some questions. So let me see if I got a connection with the Wi-Fi here to see if I can read your questions without having to stop. I don't know why YouTube does it the way it does it, but it doesn't really allow you to do both at the same time in a very comfortable way. And so I'm going to have to get up there. I don't like that. Arrgh. Okay, so let's see if we can. Hi from Norway. There we go. All right. All right. What's the show about? Let's see here. Ah, la, la, la. Hello, there we go. Where are you guys? Hello, people. What's the show about? Jason, what's the show about? This show, I'm just saying hi from the studios, if that's what you're asking. I do miss Penny very much, little Penny. Why are you crying? Hey, Connie. Hey, Kevin. How's it going? Thank you. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said anything, just reaching out. We're here for you. You got your buddies here. Hey, from Norway, Ricard. How are you doing? Don't apologize. You're amongst friends. I know this idea of fun place, as I meant, Coast to Coast show. The Coast to Coast show. Well, I am just in the studios right now where George Noory broadcasts out of when he's on the air, when he's in LA. There's several studios across the country. So I popped in today, and so I'm just saying hello from the studios. Again, I'm in the guest seat. And a previous video is where I showed where George would sit and the board op would sit, and where Tommy and Danheiser, who you know Tommy as well. You've heard about Tommy quite a bit. What is this show about tonight? Thank you, Jason. I know I need a complete sentence the way this thing works. If you saw what I saw, your all's question comes up and then it goes away really quickly. So usually I can read like 4 words if I have my glasses on. Tonight, I know Gerald Celente is going to be on, but I know he's got someone else too. I know there's 2 guests. I don't know who the second one is, but I know Gerald Celente. I always want to call him George, even in just when I talk to him on the phone, I want to call him George. It's Gerald Celente. Gerald is, I got to interview him before all the elections, and he's the one that is a political atheist, right? And he also can project outcomes. He's a wonderful, wonderful guy. Very fun to listen to, and just a character. I mean, he's a little pistol guy, I tell you. He's very fun. He calls me the blonde chick. I hope to meet him in person one day, because I already feel, you know, this camaraderie with him, and just a kind, sweet person, but he's from the Bronx, and he'll let you know. He's just loud because he's from the Bronx. And even though the way I learned about New Yorkers or somebody from the Bronx or somebody from that type of area was basically through movies, right? The Karate Kid. Things like that is where you heard those accents. I mean, you certainly didn't hear those in Kentucky. And then I lived in Florida for, I don't know, probably a good 2 decades, and didn't hear that unless I was in certain parts, because New Yorkers go down to Florida in a certain area, and Kentucky and Ohioans go down to Kentucky in another certain area. It's amazing how it's interesting. It's interesting how groups of people do their thing, right? So I just wanted to say hello and do something live. I've got my iPad Pro, so it should be a very nice connection. I was able to set it up with their Wi-Fi. And hey, Monster Sasquatch, you like my accent? Thank you, because I got it. It's funny, I learned how to get rid of my accent, because going to University of Kentucky, or it wouldn't matter where you went, in a performance class, they're going to tell you to lose your accent. wherever you are. You know, you shouldn't have any accent when you go into broadcasting. And this was back when that was the way it was. Nowadays, that's kind of part of your personality, even though so is that. But everything was a whole lot straighter back then when they taught you. So I had learned how to control my accent when needed to, but so much that, you know, I didn't want to be a hick. And when I made, I can say that, right? When I made a tape, and I'd send it out, you know, I had to make sure I kept that accent hidden. Then when I would work, people, you know, you could hear it, and they all said they liked that part of it. But usually I was kind of in the southern parts. But I'll never forget when, well, there's two situations when it comes to my accent. One of the situations was I was in Orlando, Florida, and ended up working at a country music radio station, the top one there. It was the cash cow. It was the king. It was wonderful. Very good place to work. It was WWKA, K92 FM. And did middays there. And the funny thing was, you know, I sound different when I'm just talking naturally to when I'm on the air. It's just, you put the headphones on, it's a different story. You hear what's happening, you know. So I remember they hadn't heard me yet on the air. I don't even think they heard the air check. I think they just talked to me. And anyway, I went on the air, and the country music station said, hey, you know, do you think you can let your accent go a little more? I thought, all these years of trying to rid and, you know, the work in ridding of your accent to where you do it naturally and you don't even notice it, and then you go to a place that wants you to let it all go out, you know. It's like, you know, I'm not a big drinker, but, you know, glass of wine or margarita would do it. You know, they just somehow you forget it. But isn't that crazy? And keep in mind, you know, I always knew what I wanted to do. So I went to schools, and I learned how to be a broadcaster. I, you know what to do, what not to do, you know, to the best of my ability. And so that was going against everything. There was another incident with when it came to my, oh no. Hey, what's going on? Tommy Danheiser's here. You need me to leave?
No.
Oh, okay. So, can I keep going?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, there was, let's see, where was I? Oh, so it was with the accent. Cameo! Wasn't that sweet?
Enjoy, Connie.
He didn't want to be on. So I was like, no, don't be seen. He is very kind. George Noory is very kind. He's very sweet. And he's king. He's king. I don't care what anybody says. He's the man. He's the man. And he is very kind. How'd you like those apples, right? You just never know what's going to happen. I'm just dying to get this little piece of lint off right here. Okay, all right, we got it. I've been trying to protect him because he just, you know, he goes on when he's ready, and that's cool. I'm embarrassed. I'm like trying to cover for him. No, man, I got the camera on. Isn't that funny? Sweet guy, very kind, knows his stuff. I mean, it's funny because my mentor is a guy that helped him. You know, he got him in the business, right? And, you know, he's always written things for me too, my mentor, David Whitman. And for the fact that the synchronicities that we all know each other, and learning that was really something special. But my mentor, and they're both like from the same area, they're cut from the same stone. There's no question about it, because they have the same personality, same talk, same wit. And they're so quick with that wit that sometimes I'm like, did you just say what I think you said? Not because, it was more because, man, that was really good. You had wit with it, you had humor with it, and you had intelligence with it. And not a lot of people can do that. But my mentor, David Whitman, can. And so can George Noory. And they must look at me like, Connie, what's wrong with you? Because I look at them in awe with their answers, because I think, that's great. You guys should be like in radio or TV. And they are. It's funny. That was really cool. So you don't want to hear my accent stuff. That was cooler than anything. Let me see what some of your questions are. I got to get up here. That's what YouTube does to you. It makes you get all the way up there. Okay. So forgive me. You're going to have to see me do this number. La, 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 la. Let me see how far it goes. Goes to show. Okay, Monster. Kevin. Yeah, I knew you've been in Southern California with the cool telescope stuff. And the Brits. Yes, I met some really great Brits. They were so funny. Love that Kentucky accent. Thank you. I live here in California nearby. I'm about to take off from St. Louis. So, you know, that's where the other studio is in St. Louis. And when you hear him say that, he actually tells you that. That was awesome, wasn't it? He's kind, very kind man. Live in the West Norway. Okay, accent is so diverse. The ones from the east of the country sometimes mistake us for Danish people. Yeah, I was talking to the Brits, and you know, the funny thing that when Americans hear that accent, right, the British accent, the Brits know that, you know, there's that classy accent, and then there's the one where the guy's on the street that you know, might want to run from. I don't know. That's how they've worded it to me, and it's true. We Americans are usually, we don't know. We just hear that accent and think it sounds classy, right? Anyway, they were laughing about that, saying, you Americans, you don't know the difference between this one and this one, you know? Like, no, we don't. No, we don't. It all sounds great to us. So very funny when it comes to the accents. So when you fill in for George, do you pick the guest or have any say, or is it just luck of the draw? No, I get to pick the guest. And, but sometimes the guest that I might want to have on, because I kind of think of maybe a topical reason why, or maybe something just happened recently. You know, a lot of times I like to keep in, if somebody just figured something out new or researched something new, or it's somebody I've always wanted to talk to, and I can, you know, and that's the people that I want to talk with. But there are times that I'll think, oh gosh, you know, I want to get David Jacobs on or somebody, which you guys all know David Jacobs. He's a good friend of mine, and I love him to death. So it's always fun to talk to David, right? He and I have a great rapport. George and him everybody has a great rapport with David. He loves to talk. But let's say if David has a new book out or something, and I want to get him on, well, you know, it's George's show. George needs to get him on and do the book, you know. I don't think George Noory would care one way or the other if I did it over him, but you got to keep that respect, you know, and so George should get that. So you got to think of those things just in your mind. No one's ever told me that. No one said that, but you want to be respectful. But sometimes I might want someone on, but maybe they were just on a month ago, or maybe they can't make it. But no, for the most part, I get to pick the people. And I just got to make sure it's all cool and they haven't been on recently. And you don't want to do that. You don't want to have the same people on all the time. I got to tell you, the people at Coast have done a wonderful job. They're on 7 nights a week, every day of the year. And, you know, I've been in radio and television a long time. And the main act, which would be George Noory. I mean, we're just little people on the side that get to come in and be a part of it. Which, thank you, God. You know, it's so fun. Come on. It's my passion with my career together. I love it. But, you know, that many days a week on a niche, you know, subject, which is growing bigger, by the way. We're adding a whole lot more here at Coast of things to talk about. just, well, it's like Blue Rock Talk, right? Because I already knew just from being in radio that you can run out of subject just doing 5 days a week. Imagine 7 days a week and for decades. So I kind of tried not to get into that kind of thing as I created my YouTube channel, which you're watching. So that's why it's Blue Rock Talk, the entire planet, Earth's most interesting conversations. Interesting doesn't always have to fit into paranormal UFO things. It can go outside of the box to where it's bees making wax or you know, honeycomb or whatever's interesting, right? So, and Coast, of course, is way spread out. It's just doing all sorts of different things, which is very nice and keeps it very interesting for everyone involved that way. But yeah, I get to pick out who it is. Just make sure that it's not somebody, you know, that you know has been on last week kind of thing. For the most part, we're all pretty good at knowing who to talk to, because I think pretty much everybody that's on that gets to fill in or does some sort of weekend shift, we've all done something before, or we are doing something now. So, you know, we're all pretty good about who we want to talk to or what we want to talk about. And that's the biggest part of it. Who is not on Coast that doesn't want to be on Coast? It's not a job you have to do. It's an honor. So let me see some of your other questions here, and I'll tell you one of the accent things. See, the questions don't just show up. I don't like that. It was a George Noory cameo. He's so sweet. That was very kind of him. What else do you do besides fill in on Coast to Coast? Well, I have this, Jason, I have this YouTube channel, Blue Rock Talk, and it takes a lot of time. Hi there, Sean. How are you? Very cool. Thank you for answering. Hi, Ian. I recommend the movie. Oh, you guys are talking amongst yourself. Alan Drake is great about talking amongst everybody. I love it, Alan. Keep it up. Keep it up. I love it. And that, at least it's part of our beeswax. One of the things that is tough about the YouTube channel, okay, I'm kind of learning as I go along. There's a lot of people I can listen to and learn from their wisdom, and then there's some other things, you know, you got to figure out yourself as you go along and figure out who your target audience is. And so I'm doing that. I know every now and again you get that hate jab, and it kind of throws me off a little bit, but I'm learning how to, you know, flick them back, just flick them away like a little gnat, but it does bother me. I know like 98% of the people are wonderful. It's that 2 that you're like, Got to stay away from that, though. So what I'm finding out, though, when I do something taped, it can be beautiful. The 4K kicks in, even though YouTube might compress it to where it doesn't look like it anymore, so you just want to die because you did all that work. But the tape stuff can be absolutely gorgeous without a flaw. You put it up. You can insert your own little, like commercials, like I have a couple little things that I throw in there. And it's very controlled. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. So even though I like that work, it's me doing everything. So you become producer, director, lighting, everything. So I would love it if I had a crew at that point. You know, just saying. My work's always been live. Radio, it's always live. Television that I did was always live. Car racing, boat racing, everything has been live. QVC, HSN. The only few taped things, I can't even think of some of them. Maybe Disney, a couple things for NASA, the space shuttle stuff. Anyway, there were some taped things. But most everything has been live, and I love it. So when you do live and you put your stuff together, you just, you know, you're prepared. You get it all in your head, and then you spit it out in one try. And that's where you get names like One Take Willis. That's right. But you got to work hard to get that name. It's a great title. sometimes you jinx yourself by telling people that that's your nickname, so don't do it. But I'm learning that, okay, the taped works and it'll gradually get people to see it. And then I do something live, and you guys love the live because you can interact, and I love the live because you can interact. But it doesn't always provide the best video because Wi-Fi can go in and out. Situations can occur, and they do every time. So even though there's a lot of good equipment and software and, you know, got the internet going on, you still don't have like that team that if it starts buffering or if something lowers or hires, you know, somebody can be there to keep it controlled, like when you do national radio and national TV. It's still nice to have kind of a crew, you know. It's kind of nice to have that. But I enjoy doing it myself. There's nothing wrong with that. I just wish the quality can be better. But you guys are hanging in there, and I appreciate it. So I'm growing it and seeing what really works. So I'm trying to get the quality as well as have the interaction that you guys really like, and I enjoy it too. You guys become friends too. And I love that you guys show up when you get a notification. I appreciate that. I do get more people on Facebook Live, and that's why you see a lot of people doing more Facebook Live, and it really does show a whole lot more than YouTube. So I'm kind of contemplating how to make that work, and that is just an art in itself and an entire job for someone. It's a career. So, you know, I love being a talent, and I love content. I don't mind the producing part and putting it together, but you know, when you've done it professionally for so long, you are picky about the quality and the content and everything going well. So, you know, I'm checking things out and testing along the way as I go. And it's always great to be able to, you know, just hear your feedback, and I appreciate that. And I love the fact that I can, you know, it's good too that people know me through Coast, because they know that when I don't know, I've known most of these researchers for a long time, so it's just good all the way around. So anyway, I appreciate that. But I catch a red eye tonight, and I'm going out back home, see Mama, see Ner and Penny, and I'm back here on Coast. August 13th, I think, is when it is. I know who my guess is going to be, but I got to confirm with them, so I'm not going to say anything yet. And I hope you guys, I should have showed you, did you get Mad as Hell yet, George's book? You got to get Mad as Hell. Mad as Hell. He writes like he talks, folks. So I like that too. I like that. Okay, let me see what you just said here. Okay, here we go again. Connie, I like the way you present yourself with the personal approach. Well, thank you, Alan. I appreciate that. You see the old unreleased Disney UFO documentaries in the 90s? I did. I've had that sent to me. Yeah, I saw that before, though. So when people say they just opened it, I'm sure I saw it before. I think I saw it when I was in Orlando years ago. Alan Drake's that is recommended by Steven Spielberg and Francis Ford Coppola. I know what I saw. I want to see that UFO footage too. I know what I saw. That's Fox. He did that one. Have a safe trip. Thank you. Yeah, all those documentaries. At one point, I was helping. What's his name? Mark Victor. Probably don't know the name, but you've seen his work. He was a writer for the original Poltergeist blockbuster. Mark Victor, and now he does Mark Victor Productions, but then he became a director on either Poltergeist like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. He is a guy that I met, and he went through another person I knew here in LA, and he did something, I can't even remember the names, a paranormal TV and something else paranormal something. They're on the internet, and they show up these documentaries for free. Now, they're loaded with commercials, but it's free. He was looking for content at one point, And so I was helping him bring in those films and those movies. And one of them was James Fox's I Know What I Saw. And, of course, his other big one, oh my gosh, how can that escape me? That's the best one of all that's out there, Out of the Blue. And there's so many I learned about at that point and helped him get some really, really good content out of the real researchers, not just somebody putting something together that may be fictional, or maybe they're just researching enough for their film, but from people that really research it and then put together a documentary from it, from the perspective of really knowing it, doing it, and really trying to find out the answers, you know. So that's you were bringing up watching those films, and that's what reminded me of Mark Victor. I might have to be able to get him on the show sometime. He'd be a great person to interview because you guys know Poltergeist, the movie, and a lot of things happened on that film. He'd probably go on the air. He's a really fun guy too, great personality, and full of wit for sure. No question about that. So really nothing else to say. I just wanted to say hi to everybody. While you're here on Blue Rock Talk, please like this if you like it. Please leave a comment and make sure you check out all the other videos. And please share it with your friends. Trying to grow it, trying to make it happen, you know, to where I can just, well, one day, you know, travel around a little RV, get the little stories, do little Where's Willis's with George Noory and Coast, and continue doing the Coast Show. It's a lot of fun, and I appreciate you guys. And I'm going to be leaving here soon, so I want to say some jokes, but I better not. Okay, this is new, Connie, Allen, Rob Lowe, his son's research, paranormal stuff, aliens. Yeah, I know, that's coming out. So what do you guys think of that? Hey, John, can't wait for your next show. Great. What do you guys think of the Rob Lowe thing? Here's what I think. I've been pitching television shows into the paranormal for a long time. You know, at one point they want this person, then they want that person, then they don't want a woman, then they want a woman, but they want, you know, a Hooters girl. I don't know, but, you know, you want the right people, don't you? You want people that research it, right? Don't think, by the way, I am a broadcaster. Radio and TV, it's all done all my life. That's why I can ask the questions I can. You cannot ask these questions without having knowledge of it. You just can't. Otherwise, it's 101, and that's boring, right? So that's what I think of it. So now I love Rob Lowe. I grew up watching him. He was the cute one that stayed cute all the way through, right, as he got older. But I haven't seen it or anything. I don't even know if the first show's come out yet. But, you know, pitching a show, people that okay, I'm back on here. I'm so happy for those people that have put them together and they've made it, and it's gone on for series after series, you know, year after year. I'm so happy for those folks. But it's not easy, let me tell you. They don't always feel, you know, they don't make enough money off of it. It's very hard to make money in the paranormal field, as you guys all know too. But, you know, celebrities always come in and they get a bigger shot and a better shot at these situations. And then some people try to jump on the bandwagon from there because they think all of a sudden it's the first time anybody's ever, you know, the networks have ever been presented with that type of show. It's just the fact, you know, that it's Rob Lowe. It might be a great show. I'm looking forward to it. But, you know, good for him. That's why he can get a show on. He's Rob Lowe. So I hope it is done in an expert type way, in a straight up way, and not fictional, and not in a way just to get people to go, ooh. I hope he really takes the responsibility of the show and, you know, doesn't just try to fake anything. You know, I think we all hope that. Now, on the other side, People of Earth. Have you seen that? You know, that's an actual sitcom, 30-minute sitcom. Oh my gosh, it's the best show ever. It's a little spoof on an abductee group of people, and there's an alien. There's a little gray and a reptilian, and then what's the other one? A Nordic, right, with the beautiful blonde, you know, or white hair, and that is hilarious. If you have not seen People of Earth, they are gonna have a second season. I think it started maybe last night or tonight. I think it might be tonight. Best show, you'll laugh your head off. You'll absolutely laugh your head off, because we'll get it. So they better keep it going. And I suggest highly in the future that as they do their show, I mean, whoever's writing it knows exactly what they're talking about. They know exactly what they're talking about. They're one of us. But I hope that in the future, they'll have somebody like George Noory in the background with the you know, with Coast to Coast going on. They have to, because those people would all be into Coast to Coast. Even the aliens would know Coast to Coast AM. So I hope that they keep that in mind. They've got to. So anyway, let me say a quick goodbye to you. Let me see what else you guys have up here. Oh, I wish I didn't have to do it this way. I apologize for that. I kind of can't wait. August 8th, I think it's August 13th that I'll be on. Wild Bill Cherry, hello there. Rob Lowe and Hooters Girls, go a-hunting. Hey there, Rich Serpa. I'm sure the aliens know. They have to, oh, absolutely, Kevin. Or for comedy, it's Seth MacFarlane's new Star Trek parody. Oh my gosh, really? Oh, that would be hilarious. Seth is one funny guy. He can really make some shows, can't he? So anyway, you guys, thanks very much. While you're here, please like it, please share, please comment. If someone out there can do a cut and paste for me, I appreciate that. Thank you, Ian. Thank you. If you can do a cut and paste on all the little live chat, I would appreciate that. So, thanks everybody. Blue Rockers. Good night, Ralph. Oh, Ralph, you're there. Great. So I know you'll cut and paste. I appreciate it. So kind. Again, like, subscribe, share with your friends, comment, and I really appreciate you guys supporting Blue Rock Talk and also supporting me on Coast to Coast. You guys, Blue Rockers, rock on.